Okay, so I think some of you did not come yesterday and you joined today. So I will brief you I will summarize whatever I have shared yesterday. So I'm not going to explain in very details whatever I had taught yesterday. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about what is meditation. You remember that? So meditation is not only the concentrations. Okay, the concentration does not help you to develop a wisdom and intelligence. That is not a meditation. Okay, meditation means concentration plus wisdom, intelligence. If you are doing a good concentration, good focus, but you are not able to develop any kind of wisdoms and intelligence, then that is not a meditation. That's not a good meditation. Okay. So today I will teach you. So what is a good meditation? Okay. And also the second thing, yesterday we discussed about the posture of meditations, how to do the postures. You remember? Now, first, full cross leg. Are you able to do? Okay. Then put your hands your right hands on the left hands, and then make it like a triangle like this. And you keep your hands here like this. Not like this. Okay, not like this. There is a small gap between them. There should be a small gap that the winds can flow from here. Okay. Then you have to straighten your backbone, spinal cords. It's very important. So this is the most important. Okay, whether if somebody wants to do meditation on chair, you have to keep your backbone straight. That is very important. Okay. Then keep your shoulders straight, not like this or that. Okay. Then head, bend your head little bit, not much, and look down. Don't close your eyes. So yesterday I have given a lot of explanations about opening the eyes, isn't that? Okay. Then keep your teeth and tongue naturally. Okay, and touch the tongue to the palate. Okay. So if you do meditation for a long time, sometimes fluids and water comes from your mouth. So if you touch your tongue to the palate, then you won't feel any kind of thirsty, and also the waters does not come out of your mouth. So that is the main point, to touch your tongue to the upper palates. Okay. Okay, so these are the posture that I taught yesterday. Then yesterday I said there are few external conditions, factors that can affect to your meditation. The first one is the place. Place is very important. So it would be nice you can do the meditation in a quiet place, silent place. Then time. Early morning is the best time to do meditation. This is what I described to you yesterday. I have given you a lot of reasons, So no need to repeat this again. Then I discussed about the diet yesterday. Don't eat too much food, and don't eat like very little food. You have to take moderations. It's very important. Then the fifth one, I discuss about the sleep. Too much sleep is also not good. Okay, but if you are lack of sleep, you do not get a good amount of sleep, it is also not nice. Okay, so you need a good amount of the sleep. It's very important to do the meditations. So these are the external factors that can affect to your mind and that can affect to your meditations. So these are the things that I discussed yesterday. Then we have started the guided meditations. So today I am going to discuss about a very good meditation, how to do that. Okay, now I have this one. Okay, are you happy that you're good? Do you feel that I'm going to play it here? No. Now look at here. So this is a guitar, isn't that? So there is a string here, string, isn't that? You have to screw it here. So if you screw it so tight, now so loose first. Similarly, if your mind, your focus is too loose, okay, then you might fall asleep, dullness. Your mind is inactive. If you screw it so tight, very tight, then sometimes you might lose. Yeah. Sometimes it's very, very uncomfortable. Sorry. It's very uncomfortable. Sorry that. So, if you screw it so tight, then it will be broken, isn't that? So similarly, when you focus, when you do meditation, if you screw your mind too tight, then also not nice. You will lose your object. Whatever the object that you have chosen, if you have chosen the image of Buddha or image of Lord Shiva or even of image of Jesus Christ, whatever. So if you screwed it so tight, then you will lose it. Okay, your mind will be distracted. Okay, that is also not nice. Then if you keep your mind so loose, then very inactive, sleepy, isn't that? So you have to give your focus very moderation. Then your meditation is going to be a very good meditation. So that is called the tune meditation. Tune, this one, tuning. If you tune it properly, then you can play your guitar very nicely. Then it gives you a nice, music. Otherwise, if you screw it so tight, then it doesn't give you a good sound, isn't that? If you tune it so loose, then it doesn't give you a good sound either. So similarly, if your mind, if you screw it so tight, so focused, too much focus, then it doesn't give you a sound meditation. Okay. Then if you screwed it so loose, then also it doesn't give you a sound meditation. So if you want to do a sound and good meditation, you have to screw your mind in proper moderations, very important. then you can do a good meditation. Okay. Oh, so far so good. Good. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Is this helpful? That's why I brought it here. It's not meant for playing here. Okay. Now, when you do meditation, there is two obstacles. The first one I already said, too tight is another obstacle. We call it too tight, we call it excitement. Your mind goes here and there. Sometimes your mind goes to the shopping mall, isn't that? Your mind goes to the hostel, Your body is present in the classroom, but your mind is completely absent. It goes somewhere else. So that means screwed too much. Your mind is too active at that time. So it goes here and there. So your mind is like so loose at that time, then in the classroom you might feel sleepy. Even the teacher says something, you might feel blah, 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 like that, and you fall asleep. Dullness. So that means your mind is very inactive, no active there. Okay, so we call it lassity or like a mental sinking. Your mind is sinking. So these two, one is excitement, another one is a mental sinking or like a lassity or dullness. So these are the obstacles to do a good meditation. Now, how to deal, how to, solve this problem? Okay. So if you are not able to focus on your object, like if I'm doing a meditation on the Buddha's image, okay. So if I'm not able to focus on Buddha's image, my mind goes to the shopping mall, my mind goes to the somewhere else, I'm not able to do that, then stop it. Immediately stop it. Then think something else. Think something else means, your mind is too active. Now slow it down. So what to do? Then think about, according to the Buddhist perspective, Buddha has taught us, so think about the suffering of samsara. There are so many dukkha in the samsara. If you think about that, then your mind will slow down. That active will cool down. Think about the dukkha in suffering, suffering in the samsara, or like think about the impermanence. Everything is impermanence. Think about like this. Then your mind will slow down. So once it is slow down, then you can do meditation. Okay, it is too active, now you have to, it is too tight, you have to lose it little bit. Okay, how to do that? I told you, yeah? Think about the suffering of, like if you take an example of human being, we have a suffering of birth. Have you seen a child, the mother delivering the babies, once the baby delivered, when a baby come out of the mother's womb, immediately all the babies are crying there, isn't that? There is only one baby who walked after the birth, immediately. Buddha did that, isn't that? Otherwise, all of us, when we come out of the mother's womb, immediately we cry. That means that is the sign of suffering. So if they are happy, then they will smile, yeah, like that. There is no baby like that, isn't that? Everybody is crying, wah, like that, isn't that? So that means that is a sign of like suffering. If they are happy, then they are supposed to smile and laugh. They are not smiling, they are not laughing, they are crying. That means that is the suffering. Then when we grown up, we have a suffering of illness. Isn't that? So many illness. And I had a surgery at the COVID time in this BGS hospital here. I had a surgery there, nasal surgery. At that time, they have divided the male ward into the two components, because I think female ward is full. I think so, it was full. So they have divided the male ward into two parts. And there was only one like kind of curtain there, nothing else there. So the next of me, there was one woman. They took one woman suddenly. It was like an emergency case, and the full night she was like screaming. And I went to the sister and asked her, what happened to her? She is so screaming, so painful there. Can you give any painkiller to her? Then she said, I have already given a painkiller. Then I told her, what is the problem there? Then why still, she is feeling such a pain? Then she said, she has gone through the miscarriage. She lost her babies, So it was so painful. So if you go to the hospitals, you can see such a suffering of illness. Isn't that so terrible? Usually I meditate when I think about the suffering of illness. It's just like an imagination. But that kind of feeling was not there. So when I was in the hospital, after discharge from the hospital, when I think about the suffering of illness, then it truly there is a feeling there. So it will some kind of feeling, it affects to me. So it is when you go through that kind of experience will have you to develop such a very acute feelings there. So think about like this. Then also you can think about the suffering of age. Isn't that? Suffering of aging. Then also suffering of death. Many people, they have a problem when they are facing the death. I have seen many people, when they die like this. They have a fear, scared of death. Some people, they die, they have opened their mouth like this, like that. And some with the very open, very wide eyes, like that. So terrible. But I have seen some monks, when they die, they died in a meditation posture like that. There is no feeling of scare, no feeling of fear there. So their face looks very fresh. People might feel that he is not, he is still alive. Like that. So clinically they are dead. They are died. But still, they are doing a meditation. Many people says that clear light meditations. Clear light meditation. So many scientists, they have tested on their heads, and they found there is some kind of signal is there. Okay, so forget about that. Okay, now, thank you. Now, so think like that. Okay, when your mind is too active, think about the suffering of samsara or suffering of human beings, suffering of animals also. Think about that. It will cool you down. Or you can think that, like a practice of impermanence. Everybody has to die. Nobody can escape from the death, isn't that? Whether you are a human being or whether you are dog. Isn't that? Whether you are cow or whatever, whether you are rich, whether you are girl or whether you are boy, everybody has to die. Even a Buddha had to die. Then how come we can escape from the death? If he is not able to escape from the death, then everybody has to die. Even you go into the deep, into the ocean, you have to die. Even you go to the moon, you have to die, isn't that? There is no way to escape from the death. Think about this. Isn't that? Think about this. Then also you can think that, it is like, what do you call that? One Tibetan scholar, he has given a very good analogy. He said, when the slaughters, butchers, when they are taking away the sheep, so every single step, he is very nearer or closer to the death. So similarly, day and night, we are we are moving towards the death. Each and every single day, we are moving towards the death. Isn't that? And if I give you another example, okay, let's say most of us, we will live until the 60 years old. But the 30 years old, we will sleep, isn't that? 30 years old, 30 years is a night time, 30 years is a daytime. So night time we will sleep, isn't that? So half of our life is waste. We cannot do much. Think about this. Isn't that? So think like there are many ways to do like that. So if you do such a thing, so if your mind is too active, it will slow you down. Then you can do a good meditations. Now sometimes our mind is too loose, sleepy, something like that. Then there is another way. Think about, how fortunate we are as a human being. We are able to do a good study. We are able to help the millions and millions of people. If we do, we can do it. If human cannot do, then nobody can do. Animal cannot do this. How fortunate we are. Okay, we can think about this. And you can think about, from the Buddhist point of view, like bodhicitta, all these things, If you think about this, then your mind will become more active. Then you can do a good meditation. So what I wanted to say, as a beginner, if you are a beginner, it is better to start to focus on breathing. Start to focus on the breathing. So breathing is very good for the beginners. Then you can change your object. You can think about the Buddha's image, or you can, if you are not a believer, if you are not following any particular religion, okay, then you can take the image of flower. If you like the rose flower, think about it. Okay, when you do meditation, think about this. Focus on that. Train your mind like that way. Okay, then through that way, if your focus is very good, if you feel that, then you can go like mandala. Think about the mandala. It's not very easy. So practitioner, first they think about the vajra. Okay, vajra. One vajra to the another one vajra. They will multiply one vajra to the two vajra. Then 3, 4, 5. Multiply like this. Then how it has multiplied, they will dissolve the same way, dissolve into the one vajra. Then it will multiply and it will extract or dissolve into the same way. So that kind of training is there. So beginner, I'm not recommend you to do this, right now don't do this. It's better to do it on your breathing pattern. breathing pattern is very easy to do. I recommend you only to do on breathing pattern or like a Buddha's image, very simple one. And you can do it like, you can take an image of the flowers also, if you like the flowers, It's very simple. Okay. So this is what I want to recommend. Don't do a mandala. It's very complicated. Then you will lose your mind somewhere else. Okay. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy task. Okay. Simple. Start from the simple. It's very, very good. And breathing, actually, our mind and our emotion has a connection between our breathing. So when you feel angry, then if you look at your breathing patterns, it is very strong. When you are angry, you take a very strong breath. Isn't that? When you are calm, when you are happy, then you look at your breathing pattern. It is very slow, very cool. Isn't that? Check it out. You can observe yourself. Okay. So these are the two obstacles. One is the excitement, too much active. One is like a lassity or dullness, inactive. So in order to deal with that, so I told you that if your mind is too active, excitement, think about the suffering of samsara like this. If your mind is very inactive, then think about how you are fortunate. Think about all like a practice of bodhicitta or whatever it is. Then it will help you to active your mind. Okay. Now when you are doing meditation, sometimes when you are in the course of meditation, you are in the process of meditation, okay, sometimes suddenly you lose your mind goes away. Okay, so at that time, what I'm trying to tell you, that at that time, you have to use your mindfulness. Now, what is mindfulness? You have to bring your mind back to the object. Let's say I'm doing a meditation on Buddha's image, and suddenly my mind goes for few seconds, it goes somewhere else, few seconds. Gently you have to bring it back. Don't be so rushed, do it like gently, so gently. Like we are beginner, so that's why do it so slowly, bring it back. No, now it's not your time to go there. You have to come back, put it back. It doesn't matter, your mind goes again and again here and there, it doesn't matter. First, it goes, bring it back. Second, it goes, bring it back. Through that way, if you bring it back again and again, it doesn't go. Then your mindfulness will come itself. That is the mindfulness. Because your mind goes, it goes to the past, or it will go to the future. Your mind, it will think about the past time, isn't that? So it does not stay on the present time, It goes to the somewhere else. That means, you have think about your something in the hostel, something which is past, or you have so anticipate for your future. You want to do something. Tomorrow is a holiday, I will go for shopping, something like the future. You're thinking about the future, isn't that? So that's why your mind is not in the present times. So if you bring it to the present again and again, mindful will come. Mindfulness means your body and mind has to come. It has to come together on the present time. That is the mindfulness. It doesn't matter. Some people, they feel very